Welcome to Stopping Goliath. My name is J Kimmel. Today we're going to be discussing this tragic school shooting that happened in Nashville, Tennessee. If you go to the description of this video, you will find a link to two separate articles. And as always, if you think this truth is something others should know, then I ask you please share this with your friends and family, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click that notify bell so that you'll know each time we drop a new video. So here's what we know so far about this school shooting. We know that it was perpetrated by a woman named Audrey Hale and that she was 28 years old. We know that she shot and killed 6 people, 3 adults, and 3 9-year-old children. We know that it happened at a Christian school in Nashville. And we believe, it seems to be, that this lady, Audrey Hale, went to this school when she herself was an adolescent. Don't know exactly what years that was that she was there, but apparently she's a former student at this Christian school. We also know that Audrey is female, or was female, she's deceased, but used he and him pronouns and identified as transsexual. Now, I went in search of some secular articles on this same story, and I looked into the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and NPR. I wanted to find what the other side of the fence was saying. And I wasn't horribly surprised by what I found. First of all 4 of those news agencies were reporting essentially the same thing. This is a gun control problem. They didn't really talk about Audrey. They didn't really talk about those deceased children. What they talked about was how horrible it is that people have access to guns. And that is the story. That is the way they're pushing this story. Interestingly, none of them use the word trans or transsexual in any of the articles. One of them did mention he and him, that Audrey used those pronouns, because for the rest of the article, they used he and him. So I guess they were just explaining why they were using those pronouns. Only one of them mentioned hate crime. Now, this is interesting because it was an attack on a Christian school, but only one of those articles mentioned the words hate crime, and that was to belittle the idea. In fact, I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but President Biden himself laughed when he was asked whether or not he thought this was an attack against Christians. And rather than agree with a Republican opponent, he laughed and said, probably not, and then caught himself, I don't know anything about it, but he laughed. Okay, this is not a laughing matter. 3 little children and 3 adults lost their lives. This is not a laughing matter. All right, none of the articles mention the real story, the real issue. And while it may be that Audrey may have had physical illness, she may have had mental illness, we don't know. We do know that she had a spiritual illness. There is no question that she suffered in a spiritual way. You see, when we open doors to the enemy, and remember Ephesians 6 tells us our battle is not against flesh and blood. Our battle's not against Joe Biden. Our battle's not against even people like Audrey. Our battle is against the enemy. It's against Satan. Satan and his demons are just as real as you and I. And when we open ourselves up to demonic attack, when we open doorways, and doorways can be lots of different things. For example, if you have an issue with drugs, you're opening yourself up to satanic attack. If you have an issue of sin, like embracing a different gender or any sexual sin for that matter, you're opening yourself up to attack. Now, there's no evidence other than the fact that at some point she went to a Christian school that Audrey was a believer. It is my opinion, just based on the heinousness of her crime, that she probably was not a believer. Because I'll be honest, I believe that she was possessed when she did these things. I believe that she was not just oppressed and influenced. I believe that probably there was a demonic presence that acted through her and killed these children, because I don't think there's anything more absolutely appalling than killing a child, especially a woman killing little girls. That's just out of what any of us can imagine doing. So what can we do about it? If this isn't a battle against flesh and blood, then what are we supposed to do? Well, the first thing we need to be doing is praying. Again, Satan and his demons are real. We need to be praying that our eyes, our Christian brothers and sisters' eyes, and even the eyes of those who do not yet follow Jesus would be open to the reality that the enemy is real. He is a real being. And we need to help others realize that hate is hate, whether it's caused by a person or whether it's caused by demonic influence. At the end of the day, hate is hate. That seems self-explanatory. That doesn't seem like we would need to talk about that. But unfortunately, especially our kids are learning that hate can only be perpetrated by Christians. And hate can only be perpetrated by people of a certain skin color, usually white. That is the most idiotic thing I have ever heard. Every single human being has the capacity to hate, and only with a renewed mind do we have self-control to keep that from happening, because it comes from our Father in heaven. So, remind those who may not realize that hate truly is hate. Talk to your kids, talk to your grandkids. When you talk about this story with other people, talk about that. And last, of course, share this video. Share this with people who maybe you're too nervous to talk to them. Great, share this video. Let them hear this truth from somebody else other than you. And again, if you would like the video, if you subscribe to our channel and hit that notify bell, you're going to help us reach more people, and that's what we hope to do. Remember, the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy. And just a couple days ago, 6 lives were taken. But Christ has come that we might have life and have it in abundance. So all of us need to remember to choose life.